Hello, hello, my people. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Who's here? Who's here? Let me know in the comment section if you're here already. Who's here? Who's watching? Okay, I'm just going to YouTube to go and check. Who is here? If you're here, give me a thumbs up or say hello in the comment section so I can see. We're just going to give it a minute or two to allow more people join in. I see that a couple of people are trying to join. Hi, Twinkle. Welcome. AB Wale, welcome. Hello to you too. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining us today. Who else is here? Let me know. If you're already here, this will be a good time to share the video and invite more people to join. Let's have this conversation. This is a very important topic. Let's talk about it. Hi, Sherlyn, Jessica. Thank you very much for joining. Great to have you here. Okay, just checking to make sure. Hey, new subscriber. Thank you very much. Welcome to the family. Great to have you. Okay, I'm not seeing any comments. I'm not seeing any comments, so we'll just give it a minute or so to have more people joining. Hi, Abby A. Thank you very much for joining. Hello, hello to you too. Can everybody see us? If you can see us, just say yes. Give us a thumbs up, please. If you can see us and you can hear me okay, please give me a thumbs up. Okay, I see a couple of hellos coming, but I don't see thumbs up. Can everybody hear us okay? Christy Spurs, thank you for joining. Chini Amadi, thank you for joining. Tamar Dinju, yes, we can see you too. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for confirming that, Tamar. All things Sandy Joe, welcome. Eddie from Kuwait, welcome. Hi, thank you so much for joining as usual. Okay, yes, we can. Okay, okay, thank you. I think there's a bit of a delay from when I say it to when people hear it and when the comments come in, because yeah, I was getting a bit concerned there. Okay, well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining me today on this interesting conversation that we're about to have. I feel like I'm the poster child for this conversation because when you talk about busy, you can replace Marina and put busy in dictionary. Like if you remove busy from dictionary, you can use my name to replace it. Because I mean, as a busy mom, as a busy parent, as a busy human, we have so much on the go that at more than half the time we take backseat. You put yourself last, you consider yourself last because of all these other things that are going on. And today, we want to talk about this, like where exactly is the balance between parenting, between life, between adulting, and taking time to step back and take care of yourself, guys. Stress levels are at an all-time high given all that is happening in the world, and I can't think of a more perfect time to have this conversation, and I cannot think of a more perfect person to have this conversation with. In a minute I'm going to pass it over. Chini, it wasn't planned though, it was coincidence. See, we're in sync. Our outfits are not planned. We did not plan that part. We just showed up on camera and we're dressed alike. Anyway, in a minute, I'm going to pass it over to my guest. She's somebody that I admire a lot, even though she doesn't believe it. She's somebody that influences me a whole lot. Like, I watch some of her videos sometimes and I find myself going online to go and check all the things she talked about. I started using The Ordinary because one person talked about it and I watched it on her channel. I'm like, if she's talking about this, if she's talking about it, it means this thing is good. So that's how I got won over to The Ordinary side. So I'm going to pass it over to my guest. Her name is Jamila Dara. She's a content creator, runs the YouTube channel Ado's Lifestyle. I'm going to put that in the comment section in a bit for you guys to go check out. All things self-care, beauty. When you talk about being intentional about taking care of yourself, your skin, looking nice, smelling nice, this is your plug. Okay, Jamila, I'm going to stop talking now and pass it over to you to just give us a brief, tell us a bit about who you are, what you do, and we can get the conversation started.
Thank you, Marina, for having me. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, or good morning, wherever you are watching from. My name is Jamila Dora, just like Marina have stated. I would say that for now and what we're doing, I am a content creator, a beauty and lifestyle content creator. However, I do have qualifications in information technology and a master's in public administration. Hopefully, I'll be your next senator, whether here in the US or in Nigeria, but I do have a great passion for politics aside skincare, and that I hope would be my next calling to go into politics. I am a I am Jamila myself. I am a daughter, I am a mom, and I am a wife, according to how I treat everything. It's a great honor to be here with Marina. She's someone that I love, I respect, and I love her sarcasm a lot. Yeah, so that the sarcasm speaks to me all the time whenever she talks, because sarcasm is just the way to relieve yourself of every crazy thing that is happening in the world today.
Mm.
So today we are going to be talking about how to balance parenting and self-care. So we are going to be sharing bits of our experiences and some also very professional touch to the things that you can do to help you, because I'm also a trained makeup artist. I'm also an esthetician, a certified one in the state of Georgia here in the US, and just an enthusiastic lifestyle lover and expert. So I'm here to answer your questions, and let's have fun
Did I
while
not
doing
tell you
so.
people? Did I tell you people that there's no other person to talk about this? Somebody certified in IT, beauty, politics, in an esthetician. My dear, calm down. Be calming down, Jamila. Which certification is left for us? You have done everything.
I have, and I'm not stopping.
That's very good. I'm very inspired by that. Like people who are that driven. Like you have a clear picture of what you want and you're not stopping to get it. I mean, that's amazing. Okay. So let's really talk about this self-care. First of all, when we talk about self-care, there's the notion, there's almost like a confusion between when is it self-care and when is it selfishness. So do we want to clarify when we're talking about self-care, what exactly are we referring to?
Self care is putting yourself in a state that you're whole. It's everything that has to do with you. Um, as a mom, let's take it from the mom perspective now. As a mom, you're just like the nucleus in your home, the center that holds everything, and everybody is pulling away from you. Your husband is pulling away from you. Your children are pulling away from you. Then, if you are also a 9 to 5 person and you have a job outside, you have that responsibility as well. Then you have to learn to be a child to your parents as well, and you have to learn to be siblings to your siblings. So you have to just be everything. And but when you talk about self-care in that aspect, you just want to feel whole while you are still doing every responsibility that you are saddled with, trying to balance all the things that is required of all the things that are required of you to do, without trading off so much of yourself in the process. That is basically what self-care is, the wholesomeness of you.
I've never thought about it like that, as an attempt to even try to bring and think about it really. Like, can you give half of yourself? Can you be half a mom? Can you be half a wife? Can you be half a friend or half a sibling? So there's supposed to be a lot more emphasis on your wholeness before you can be all these things to all these people. So that's a nice way to think about it. But with the world that we're in, like I was listening to your introduction and you listed all the many things that you do, the many things that you're interested in. Is it really possible to find proper balance in all of these things? Is that actually realistic to think about?
It is realistic to think about. Actually, it is for you to prioritize. If you know what are those first things that you really want when it comes to achievement, what are those things that are priority to you? When it comes to your husband or your relationship with your spouse, what are those things that are priority to you? When it comes to your children, at different stages, you have to think about prioritizing. Once upon a time in my own life, I felt like education was priority, so I gave most of my time getting myself educated for everything that I know that I want to become. I did not start YouTube or anything that has to do with beauty and lifestyle until I found out that I was well knowledgeable. I had educated myself, because when you want to talk about balancing, it's not just, when you're whole and you're balancing it, you won't even realize that you're doing it. Everything is just going to sync and be in sync and flow according to how you have prioritized your life. So you just have to think about the priority at that moment, at this very moment in our lives or in your life. What is that thing that takes precedence for you? For yourself, what is it? With your relationship, what is it? With my parents right now, my dad just recently retired, so I know now I have to reprioritize my relationship with them to make him not maybe just financially better. He's not at that stage where he needs a financial listing from me, but I know that that emotional connection, because this is someone that is used to going out, grinding it out there, but now he spends 247 at home, and I want to be there emotionally for him, because I don't want him to wallow in. Also, it's for you to always recognize the stage you are at in your life and reprioritize everything around you and what you want to achieve.
So what I hear you say is that it's a dynamic process, like it's ever
Yeah,
changing depending on where you are per time. Like what is happening to
absolutely.
me at this time, what is priority. Like when you use school as example, I'm like, okay, she's describing my life because 3 4 years ago, the priorities that I have today were not the priorities that I had back then. I'm in
Yeah.
school right now, so which means that education takes like a large amount of time. It's taking a lot of my attention at this time, which means that there are other things suffering, and that's what I want us to now talk about. When it comes to prioritizing, like if you put some things on top of the scale, it means there are some things at the bottom of the scale. Does that really come back to bite us? Does it really, what can we do to balance that this is what's on top of my priority list and the things at the bottom of the priority list? Is there a middle point where we can say right now I'm thinking of school, so my social life is at the back burner, but I don't want it to be non-existent? Do you understand what I mean? Like how do
Yeah,
you
I
do
do.
one and make sure the others don't die?
It depends. That is why I said trade-off initially. There are always going to be trade-offs in every decision you're going to make in life. The one that situation of life that is conversant to a lot of people is the process of childbearing. At some point in your life and the life of your spouse, both of you at that stage where you give birth, he's now a father, you are now a mother, and the children will be that priority. But now the question is, how long are you willing to ride out that initial phase, the first 2 years, this first 3 years, 4 years, 5 years of your life? And I give it to 3 years. I will follow that child. I will do everything for that child till that child gets to 3 years. Once that child gets to 3 years, I begin to now separate and give myself room and for that child to begin to explore and grow on their own while I direct them and begin to rebuild my relationship with my spouse separately. When we just become new parents, that is where relationships begin to suffer at home, and most especially between couples. And people begin to lose themselves because we come from a culture where our parents blamed everything on us. We are the reasons why they are not eating why they are not eating some kind of food. We are the reason why they are not visiting some places. And we kind of have that subconsciously that when we start having children, you don't want to sleep, you don't want to wake up to shower, you're lazy, but now it's the child's fault. When the child is not holding you by your leg and say that you're not going to go into that bathroom. So it is for you to recognize that, okay, this child is dependent on you, but they get to a stage where they begin to self explore and know things and be able to do things. Are you talking to them? Are you guiding them so that you can give yourself breathing space? One thing that happened between me and my daughter Kairia was one day I was in the kitchen and the dishwasher had finished washing and drying the dishes, and I was cooking and I also needed to put the dishes away. But I tried something with her. I told her that she should come and put away the dishes. And I felt some kind of relief that I did not have to bend down, stand up, bend down, stand up from the dishwasher to take the dish to the cabinets and do that back and forth. While I focused on cooking, she was doing that, and I would occasionally guide her. This is where this goes, and the places she could not reach, I helped her. So ever since then, it has become her duty, and that is a burden less for me. It is for you to carry everything along with you, most especially with the children, and stop making using them as excuses. If you wake up one day and you choose not to bath as a new parent, it's because you don't want to bath. It's not because you have a child. It's not because the child is not letting you. It's a thing of willingness and moving your mind to actually do that, and stop making excuses.
Totally agree with you because I find that it's very easy to get into that rut of, oh, I can't do this because I'm a parent. I can't do this because, but if you really break it down, what aspect of you being a parent actually stops you from doing these other things you need to do? You know, as
Yeah,
new, even before you become a parent, because I remember that as a new bride, when I got married, there were questions of, oh, the things that you places you used to go, you can't go anymore. The people things you used to do, you have to now stop it. And I'm like, is it prison I entered? And for like the first year I was doing that, I used to enjoy going to the movies a lot with my friends, like at least once a month when they paid us, when we have money, we
yeah,
go to City Plaza. I remember City Plaza in Abuja, then buy ice cream, buy popcorn, go and watch a movie, just look around,
yeah.
window shop, and buy the things we could afford, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But when we got married, it seemed like that was the first thing I needed to give up. And I was wondering, like, but why? Like, I don't even have kids right now. Is it that my husband is going to have a problem with me going to see the movies with my kids? So a lot of it has to do with conditioning. I did that for
yes,
one whole year, until one day I was so frustrated. And I asked my husband, I'm like, I actually enjoy doing this, at least once a month. You are busy. I can't do it with you. And it's not the same. Like the hanging out with a spouse is different from the hanging out with your girls. Do you understand?
yeah.
And I asked him, I'm like, are you going to have a problem with me going out to go and see? Like, what's the problem if I do this? And he was like, what are you on about? Go out with your friends. I'm like, yeah. So one whole year, I gave up what I liked because
It's the subconscious. We grew up and saw how our parents lived their
yeah,
lives. Daddy was always the one out, and probably mommy was always the one in. And even when mommy is in, daddy was always the one sitting down, and mommy was always the one in the kitchen.
to that
So subconsciously, you walked into marriage thinking that some things are not just acceptable as a woman and as a
anymore.
wife,
Yes,
not just a woman and as a wife, as a pious one at that. So carrying each other along will create that balance. What is it he likes to do? What
mm,
it is that you like to do? And you begin to find what you can mutually do together. That movie can translate with both of you just sitting down on the couch, using it as a process to cuddle, talk about things, finding each other, watching a movie of mutual interest. It could translate to that, but he was isolated and you were isolating yourself from the things that you like. And
like
it could have even been more rewarding and also fulfilling if you sat down with him to watch that movie in the house, or even dragged him out to go watch the movie with you because you wanted to do it, but you felt like, oh, if I should start doing this now, oh, I'm going to be that woman that wants her husband to spend anyhow. I'm going to be that woman that is not prudent, wasteful, and because that is the conditioning that the mind, not saying you, but coming from the typical African setting, that is always the condition. Some things are only enjoyed on certain occasions, and it kind of just goes with us like that, and we start putting it on our children as well.
absolutely. Because with our busy schedules, like okay, so take me for instance. I have a 9 to 5. I'm doing YouTube on the side. I have young children. I like I have a busy life. I'm in school. I used to think that it was not possible for me to create extra time to do anything else. Until recently, it was sometime in January, I joined like a fitness boot camp. It's one of the things I actually thought about for this year. Like I really just wanted to take fitness and my physical health a lot more seriously. So I heard just talking to somebody like a fitness coach, and they talked about a boot camp. Oh, you have to join like exercises every day. And when I did the equivalent, it's 5 a.m. my time to do that exercise.
Mhm.
In that first conversation, I was feeling like, this thing's not going to happen. There's no way I can wake up at 5 a.m. to exercise. But the truth is, all I had to do was turn back my alarm clock instead of it to go off at 5. make it go off at 4:30 so that I will get that extra 30 minutes to be angry, to turn and snooze. But I know that I can't sleep after that alarm has gone off. But guess what?
Yeah.
From the third week in January, I've been doing that, waking up at 5 a.m. 3 to 4 times a week to work out. If somebody had told me that last year that you would have the time to do this, I would have said no. So there's a
Mm,
place of prioritizing. It really comes to what am I interested in right now? What
yeah.
can I accommodate right now? What are the systems that I have in place to make this thing work? Because I saw Bridgie Sparkles put a comment in the chat box and said, kids are willing to learn, but are we willing to get them involved? Our children are
Absolutely.
at this, especially at this stage. My daughter is very happy to do chores. If I say, oh, I'm trying to do something, she's like, oh, can I help? Can I help? So they're at that stage right now where they're excited about chores, where they're excited about getting involved. But are we giving them that opportunity to explore enough? Or are we trying to shield them to say, it's going to take me a longer time if the kids are involved, I'll just do it myself. And before long, you're putting so much burden on yourself and you wear yourself out. That way, you don't have time for anything else. So it's finding that very, very delicate balance. So now that we understand the importance, like what self-care is and how important it is to make that priority, what are the practical ways? Jamila, let's bring this home. Like African mothers, especially me and you who live in the diaspora, there's no help. There's no jumping into the car and just going and just leaving the children. What are the
Yeah.
practical ways that we can begin to prioritize our self-care, especially in the times that we're in?
So put it simply is to tell you that routines become lifestyle. Good routines become good lifestyle. Bad routines become bad lifestyle. That is the reality of things. When I became a new mom, everybody thought I was selfish. An instance I would share with everyone is when my parents came and my daughter was crying. She was crying. I had just fed her, changed her diaper, and she was laying in her bed and crying for no reason. She was just 6 weeks old, 6 weeks old, and my dad was watching me. My mom was watching me. It was the race of who's going to pick this child up. My mom moved, and I said, "No, nothing is wrong with her." I looked and I was like, "Oh, she's fine." My mom was like, "This child is crying. I should pick her up." I said, "No." She said, "Why?" I said, "Because you are here. It's very temporary because you're going to leave me in a couple of weeks.
Mhm.
What are you telling her now that every time she cries, I pick her up?
Nobody has to pick
And
through.
what if I want to go into the restroom and she's crying? What if I want to eat and she's crying? What if I want to bath and she's crying? What if I just want to sit down and breathe and she's crying? What do you want me to do? Carry her?" My dad was angry and he literally told my mom that if not that I was a new mom, he would have just landed me a slap. I laughed so hard. I was like, "No, but dad, you're going to leave me with a reality, a sad one, if we continue like this." And 7 weeks later, my parents left. Everybody, it was just me in a new state, trying to settle down with a new child. And I called myself and I talk to myself a lot because that is my way of assessing myself and my failures and my winnings and everything. So the very first day the husband went to work, when he was leaving, I told him, "Please, before you leave for work, give this girl a bottle and help me change her diaper before you leave so that she can sleep between 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. when is my own time that I want to leave the bed." It might sound unrealistic to people, but it is just you thinking about what it is you can handle and what it is you cannot handle. I did not want to be up around 6 a.m. because a child is up around 6 a.m. and that there goes my sleep, there goes my rest, and there goes everything for me. So we got my daughter into that routine that she wouldn't wake up except until 10 a.m. every day. Between that period, between 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., I am able to bath, rest, take care of things while she wakes up. Once she wakes up, I give her her bath and feed her, set her down, or whatever it is I need to do with her. While she's resting, I'm also getting things done. It became a routine for her that to date, She is that child that now that she's in a proper school system, she's able to wake up still like as early as 6. But on weekends, she's able to sleep up until 10 a.m. and also get her rest. This is now a routine that as early as she is, she has it. And as she grows, she's going to grow with it. So the routines that you put in place will eventually become lifestyle for you. I don't know if you have Muslim in audience. I'm going to say that a lot of women would say, I don't like washing my face. Oh, it is stressful to exfoliate my body. It is stressful to take off hair from my body. It is stressful we create a lot of stress for ourselves, with our own thinking. um when is as a Muslim, I know that I want to wash my face twice a day as a skincare routine for me. But there is that tendency that if I we perform wudu, that is ablution, 5 times in a day to pray. Once it's time for bed, between I know that I go to bed at early as maybe 8, 10, if but I'm not going to sleep, but I'm going to be in bed. And I know I have to pray Maghrib and Isha, that is the 7 p.m. prayer, just to put it lightly, and maybe 9 p.m. prayer. And when I go to do my ablution for my Maghrib, I use that opportunity. I give myself extra 10, 15 minutes before the actual call to prayer, and I wash my face. I might not necessarily use my moisturizers at that time, because once you pass the wind or you fart, that means your wudu, your ablution is broken and you have to perform another one. So once I moisturize my face, that means I have to wash it off again, and that is tiring, to be realistic. So I would wash my face around 7 p.m. and leave it without moisturizer, just to allow myself to see if I'm going to hold up that prayer before the time of Isha. So I check the time and I see, okay, when is like 5 minutes or 3 minutes to my Isha prayer, and I still have my wudu, my ablution valid. I just go then and I use my moisturizer, say my prayer, be in bed.
So
That
that's
is a
like so that's like using the same things you would do on a normal day, but just
the
introducing
same
that extra
using it.
5, 10 minutes to do something else.
Exactly.
Okay.
So incorporating things is very, very important. You don't have to isolate everything that you need to do. You don't have to do them in isolation. I could
Mm.
have said, why will I be in front of the tap washing my body and washing my face, and leave that place and want to go back again, probably do it twice, then go back the third time to do it before I eventually go to bed. So it is about us really thinking about what we want to get out of that particular period. That this is one aspect of everyday life. Another one would be people complaining that it is too much for me to be in the rest in my shower, like to like scrub my body, because it is tiring. But you don't have to scrub your body every day. You can do it once a week, simplistically, for a beginner that wants to take care of themselves. And people are always like confused, what is the right scrub for me? But we also don't we should know that sugar that we use in our tea every day is something everybody has in the house. Salt that we use to cook is something everybody has in the house. You don't have to go even break the bank to buy this. You can whip up your own scrub right in front in your kitchen. Take it into the bathroom with you and do it. And for people with 9 to 5, I feel for people like you with 9 to 5, where you have where you have to like think of like everything just have to be time stamped, and happen in a certain order. If you can't do it weekdays, do it weekends. Give yourself early rise, wake up earlier than any other person in the house, and have that moment by yourself, to yourself, and nobody's going to just interrupt the process for you.
Yeah. What I'm learning to do myself now is, especially for weekends where I have the for weekends where I'm not really doing anything or I don't have any major thing planned.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's just that extra 5 minutes in the shower.
Yeah.
That extra 5 minutes of just sitting down there, locking everybody else out, shutting everything out. Sometimes even your no, no, I always carry my phone into the shower because I play music with it. Even if it's just locking out everything else for that extra 10 minutes. Sometimes I come out and it's like I've been away 2 hours, just playing music and basking in the steam in the bathroom, just play and scream if you have to. I
Yeah.
came to the point where I think I just got really overwhelmed from the routine, because from work it's like there are particular days where I'm done from work at 5, I'm in class at 7, and I'm done at 10 p.m. Like, if you think about it like that, like, where do you incorporate any form of self-care? Well, guess what? The next morning I'm waking up at 4:30 to work out. So if you really, really come to the point where you tell yourself what your priorities are, like, is it important to me at this point to be whole? Is it important to me to pay attention to all these things so that I don't feel like I'm pouring out more than I'm putting in? No, at
Yeah.
some point the cup is going to run out. At some point, that your superwoman cape is going to tear. You will not be able
Yeah.
to fly anywhere. That's the truth. Because see, superwoman, I don't feel like that thing is a construct that has kept a lot of us handling things that will soon break us. That
True.
superwoman construct has to go, you
It
know?
has to.
Absolutely, absolutely. The pressure is just a lot. The pressure is a lot. The expectations, especially on us as women and even as men, because self-care is not only a feminine thing, and that's the
No,
part.
I was going to say something about that in terms of that crossroad between spouses. Men want self-care differently, women want self-care differently. For women, it's a lot, it has a lot to do with from physical to internal feeling, physical appearance to internal feelings. For men, it is largely space. They really really just want that space. So how do you exchange these things, these desires between yourself and your significant other or your spouse? um Communication is one. Communicate what you want. Communicate what you, this is not what you need, this is what you want to do. I want to spend extra 5 minutes, 10 minutes in the shower. Can you hold watch the kids if they need to be watched, or can you just be attentive, a little bit more attentive towards the activities of the kids? You don't have to be there, you don't have to sit with them. As we are talking, the kids are downstairs and their father is not even in town. So it is communicating what both of you want to do. When you see men really sometimes just want to sit down, lay in bed on Saturday or Sunday and stretch out and watch soccer and watch movie and press their phone, things they don't get to do 5 days of the week, on a free this thing like that. They just want to do it. This is where you begin to now exchange time, give yourselves room to experience it. If there are men in the audience and your wife is communicating something like this to you, take it as a cue. Because, and I would tell the women that when you notice that your significant other is just laying in bed and having his own time, let him have it. Be thoughtful enough to carry the kids away, walk away with them, go get entertained, spend time with them differently. It gives you your own time with your kids, because some of us have our kids where in daycare, and the only time you get to spend with them weekends as well, or they go to school and the only time you get to have that family time is weekend. So when you see your husband having that time of his, that he's not talking to anybody, he's just stealing it, stealing it, staying away from everything, let him have it. It's sort of a mental balance and reset for them, as they prepare for the next work week. And you yourself, when you see that he's out of it, ask him, are you okay? Are you well rested? You know, when you ask that question, he's going to tell you yes or no. If it's yes, then you now ask him, okay, please, can you? He cannot deny you that time now that you're about to ask from him, because you've given him, and a sensible man will acknowledge it that you have just let him rest. So you
Yes,
use the
keyword.
exactly,
Sensible
because it's all
people,
about,
sensible spouses.
because it's true, some men will be like, oh, so now am I paying for, do I need to start paying, and if such statements come, just make it a light mood. But at the end of the day, you just have to communicate things like this, and it is really not a big deal. It is just for the benefit of both of you and for your sanity, because you both need to be sane.
See, that sanity one. Somebody said, Christy's pause before I come to the comment on the screen. Say, I did Superwoman. No, I wanted to run mad. I'm telling you, Superwoman, you are going to go cuckoo. And you know, it comes back. You see this thing you said about spouses, knowing when to just step back and let your spouse be. That's another mistake that I think I made in the early years of my marriage, because my understanding was when you get married, you kind of lose your individuality and both of you become meshed into this one brand new entity. We have to like the same things, we eat the same
Yeah.
things, we watch the same movies, we do.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I don't understand. It's not working. We don't like the
I
same
think
movie.
that is one thing that saved me into my own marriage. I always, even before I got married, I will always say that I won't start what I cannot finish. And if any new bride or intending bride comes to me today, I say, do not start what you cannot finish. I want I grew up with my dad sitting down and we taking the food to him. You know, my mom had finished cooking. But now I want my husband would cook and give his child the food to bring to me while I'm in the room. There are days that it is okay, I do the cooking and I give his child the food to take to him. And there are days that he will take that food. The children are there doing nothing, and he will walk up to all the way upstairs or wherever I am and bring my food to me. And there are days that I will be the one to give him that service of the king. You know, it is showing what is okay is okay. Our mothers made a lot of mistakes, but when you want to show me that you want to be that African man, then I'm going to tell you that I'm a very religious woman and I begin to learn scriptures for you. When I tell you what God have said you should do, and I tell you that I know what God have asked me to do, then you forget culture. I respect culture, but if you want to go by culture, we are all not going to succeed in anything in marriage. That
Nobody,
is just it.
nobody can do it. True.
It is very choking. It is very, very choking. My dad does not know how to boil water. That I don't know what his survival skills are, you know. And it is true. Like we once traveled as kids, and my mom set a tray, hot water in the flask with the Milo, the milk, everything she had it on tray. We spent 3 weeks in Dora. We came back and everything was in the fridge with the flask. Everything was in the fridge because they did everything for him. Everything was done for him. So I want my children to grow up to know that it is okay to be of service to one another. Nobody has a specific duty. The only thing that both of you can do is the man carrying the pregnancy and the woman impregnating the man. That is the basic, the of our
What
creation, our rules. Those are the things we can never do and take away from each other. But every other thing that will influence how you will survive, how you will live, and make life easy for yourselves, it is the same across boards. It is culture and everything that created that differentiation in roles and patterns of things.
Yeah, Ikirika said so true, as in referring to when you said good routines, establishing good routines. Like having a routine is key. As a mom to an 11, 8, and 4 year old, it is a priority for my kids to go to bed early so I can have quiet time to myself before bed. Now they can't stay awake past a certain time. So true.
Yeah, very true.
So agree. Christy says culture is very choking, especially for women. Too many expectations of how we should have it all together. That's the truth, especially the having it all together. It's almost like you be there for everybody, but you don't have a right to fall apart. You should always
Exactly.
be together, regardless of what's going on with you. And it's almost like it sounds like we were born with it. We were born with this ability to have everything all together. I'm like, when do you guys hear all of this? Like we were taught everything you see, especially in the average African context, we were taught. Like my
Yeah.
brother and I experienced my mom differently because it's not the same things we were taught. It's not the same things we were told. So
Yeah.
while it was okay for when my mom was cooking for my brother to be outside playing football, for me it was not. I didn't have
Yeah.
the option of going to play football when my mother was cooking. So to now say a woman has a natural ability to cook, no, I was taught because I was in the kitchen while you were playing football. If you stayed in the kitchen,
Absolutely.
oh, you
Yeah.
understand how to cook. So I did not come with spatula from the womb. No, it's what I
Hmm.
was told. you know. I'm just thinking about all of it. Like, so where do we start to correct these things, especially for people who are already on their way to creating that same thing, that same pattern that was handed down, because our parents didn't know any better. That's what was handed down to them as well. So it's just
Yeah.
been it has been handed down from generation to generation. It has come to us now, and the world was not this crazy back then. So there are things they could get away with, even with that pattern that they had going. But now, with the way life is right now, can me, somebody like me, for instance, being a 9 to 5, having going to school and taking care of kids, I have a very strong support person in my husband. Like, if you watch my channel, you will know that
Yeah.
part of the reason why I'm saying I'm here having this conversation because I have a very supportive spouse. If I don't have that kind of spouse, will I now say I can take on all of this plus all that I'm doing and not go crazy? How?
You
So
will
for
undo it.
yeah, so how do we start to undo those things? Like, for us as women, how do we start to undo that construct that you come last? How do we now consciously try to push ourselves up on our priority list?
I think for I would always refer back to myself, because these are the things that I did, and it might not be very easy for you if you are already on that path, because you're going to have to be ready for the repercussion and stepping on stones and the boomerang effect that will bounce back at you. But I've always been very vocal of what I want, what I do not want, what I can tolerate or not tolerate. So I remember that there are times that my mother-in-law would come and she'll be like, take care of them, oh, just take care of them. And by them, she means her son and the grandchildren. And I'll ask her, who is going to take care of me? She'll say God. And I'll be like, no, God will not take. No, it won't. God is not going to come down to, like, I will tell her this and she will laugh. For a very long time, I used to say it till, the squabbles in marriage is going to happen. And, when it started happening in the early years of that middle year of marriage, that you can't avoid it. You can't avoid that stage, that critical stage where you're going to have that defining moment. You're going to fight a lot. You're going to use that opportunity to learn about. And she started seeing it that, okay, I am married to a last born and I am a second child. So you're coming from a space of a last born that is an entitled member of the family, and me, a second child that is somewhat
Responsibility
maybe
sort of.
fearless and heads on with things. I had to make my like or subconsciously make my husband undo certain things. There are times I'll just sit down. My dish will be in the sink, his dish will be in the sink, and I will not stand up to do the dishes. This sink area will be dirty, and just because I need him to understand that this is not one person's role, we will leave those things there like that. And I won't say, and I won't ask him, babe, are you going to help me with the dishes? He's not going, and he knows not to also ask me that, why is the kitchen dirty? Because as a Muslim, it is not even my role. It is not my duty. You work, you earn, you're supposed to give me a comfortable life. But if you cannot do it yourself, you're supposed to use your money to do it. Then if I, as your wife,
Stop,
choose,
stop. I'm sorry. You cannot just glide over that like that. Stop. Wait,
yeah,
what? Wait, sis. Say that again. If as
as
so
okay,
in your religion, please
in my
enlighten me.
religion as a Muslim woman, it is not the woman's responsibility to do certain things, which includes cooking, house cleaning, housekeeping. What in short, to the point of, in this is stated well in the Quran, if a woman is saying that she will not breastfeed a child, you're supposed to get a wet nurse to do that. And if she chooses to do that, you are entitled, she's entitled to some sort of fee if she chooses to take any fee from you. That is how much our religion covers for the rights of women. Yeah.
Wow. Are you serious?
Yes, that is how much the rights of a woman is covered. But culture, have covered that part and made it the woman's responsibility. In the Quran, the woman is referred to as the queen of her home. The queen generally does not really do anything. She has people at her service. So if you, as a man that is earning, you cannot and again, coming to even marriage, in short, you're told to marry within your class, so that when you're getting a girl and you're marrying her, you don't give her what below what she's used to. But if you are buoyant enough to marry someone below your class, please give her a life that is better than what she is used to. Don't say that because you're marrying someone from a poor background, then you have to treat her poorly or not take care of her. So it is there outlined for us. So he knows that when situation gets like that, he can't really come out to ask me that who is going to do the dishes, you know, there. So and it took a while for him to understand. That is my own silent way of sending message across. There are times that, the things will just be on the floor, and his mom, he was used to having his mom pick up after him, do things for him, do everything. And I am here that I will not be that woman that will do everything, because this is a union. We have to complement each other. We are a garment for one another. If you do it, it's not going to take anything from you. If I do it, it's not going to take anything. But if I had let that, every time the sink was packed, I have to be the one to do it. Every time the house was a mess, I had to be the one to do it. We would have continued on that path of life, and everything, I will have to be the one to keep doing it. So
That's
that
not
is where the
sustainable. That's not
and that is
sustainable.
where the damage starts.
Yeah.
That is where the damage starts. Then it becomes a system in your household. You have children of either blended sex, like a boy and a girl, and they see it that, oh, daddy does not do anything. So being the boy child as well, that already knows that there is a lot of likeness between him and his dad physically and all that, he begins to see how we live our lives, and he begins to learn that. So it starts with trying to undo certain things if you're still very early in your union, in your marriage. But if you are not, and you're my senior in marriage, sorry, I cannot help you. You just have to continue to do the Lord's work until your reward comes. But again, to very young couples, just start inserting yourself in each other's. Please, sometimes, this is a very funny one. Lie down, feign headache. Just lie down. You can't
Wow,
lift your
we're
leg.
not saying this in public. This is our
He's
this
going
is
to
supposed to
no.
be girls. What we say in girls'
No,
corner.
but
Now,
because there are very stubborn men that will not do anything. There are very stubborn men that you cannot talk to them, you cannot pass the message across. They exist,
true.
because that is how they are wired. But if he sees you not being able to physically do anything, and he does not have anybody to do it, what is going to happen? He's going to stand up and do it. He's going to cook for himself. He's going to do his laundry. He's going to clean up, you know, and all that. Then from there on, do it today, next month, do it for 2 days, another month, do it for 3 days. You see him that he's picking up, but he does not even know what you're doing.
Hi. Is anybody else as surprised as I am to hear that the Islam actually makes provision for a man to pay a woman for doing those things? I'm very surprised. And I agree
Yeah.
with you that some of these things have gotten very clouded in culture. And it's the same thing that
Oh,
happens
very.
as well. There's now sometimes it's hard to separate, is this what the Bible says or is this what our culture is saying? And a lot of times it's culture, like we're interpreting the Bible with culture, and it starts to look like, God, the women offend you. What happened? Like, why is this?
And
Yeah,
education, it is one thing to be going to church or mosque every Sunday and Friday, but what are you learning? Who are the preachers? Once upon a time, I don't even listen to male preachers. I don't listen to them, because the conversation they kept on having was how to be a righteous woman, how to be a pious wife, and everything they explained was totally different from, or they are explaining would be totally different from what the scriptures say. If they make it in a so condescending way that they say that, oh, sometimes you walk into a woman's house and her house is smelly, her house is stinky, and her house is that. But for real, is she supposed to be the cleaner? Is she the air freshener and everything like that? There is that expectation that they put on women, that it is okay for the man to have certain expectations of their wives or their mother or the mothers of their children and everything. But it is not okay for the society does not make it okay for the woman to have expectations of her husband other than to feed, clothe them.
Yeah.
But it is way more than that.
Playing field is so different. Like it's very
Yeah,
different. It's not level. It's like the bar, in a way, has been set so low for men that we celebrate the basics. Like when a man
yeah.
is doing the basic thing that is expected of him,
Yeah,
you
once he's
roll out
buying
the
you clothes, once he's feeding you, once there is that roof over your head, that is his responsibility. That must be done. But what about those extra things that, you know, makes the woman happy, that
yeah.
lifts up her mood to even want to make her do more for you? Do you understand? Are you doing it as well? But the man wants the woman to be the wife, like they say, the side chick, like they say, the lady from the club.
The wife in the night and you be the other thing in the night. Like really, seriously.
Yeah, yeah,
So what I hear you say in all of this is that there's an element of who you marry in how much self-care you can actually get. So it
yeah.
comes back to the primary support that you have around you, starting from your spouse. If there
Mm-hmm.
are children involved, the importance of a spouse we cannot downplay. And this goes both ways, not just for women, but for men as well. Because in fairness, the societal expectations of men sometimes can really choke them. But
Yeah.
because we have all been raised to that, oh, he's supposed to be a man, he's supposed to swallow it, you're not supposed to talk, you're not supposed to complain, you have to man up and chest it or things like that. We're now
Mm-hmm.
seeing a lot more breakdown among our men because these
True.
guys are suffering under the weight of the expectation, but there's nowhere for them to go as that outlet to say, where exactly can I go to just breathe? Today, can I just not be a dad? Can I just not be a husband? Can I just be a baby boy today and just go out and just go and shoot pool with my guys? I encourage my husband to do that because we have come to the point where we understand that, yes, as on level as the playing field is, there's also a level of unfairness in the expectations that are on our men, the good men, or the ones that have sense, not those ones that used to beat people,
Emphasis.
not the ones that used to slap and beat. Those ones can go and
No,
collect their
no.
own, have what they are getting, whatever it is they are getting, they deserve it. But for the good
Mm-hmm.
guys, sometimes it's okay to let them have that space where they just step back to and say, today I don't want to do anything. Today I
Yeah,
don't stay in bed till 12. That's fine. No responsibilities today.
true.
Because a whole husband can contribute to your wholeness as a wife.
Yeah.
That's the truth. Because if you focus on my own self-care, I want to be whole, but there are broken people around you, the brokenness is going to come and choke you, and you will still drain
Absolutely.
that wholeness. If they poke holes in you, you're going to leak the wholeness that you're aiming for. You're going to still be draining it out. Do you understand what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
for couples, it is important that two of you are being intentional about having that place where you both go to and there's no responsibility and you don't have to do it together. That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the mistake I made in the beginning, just thinking, oh, if we're going to rest, we'll do it together. If we're going to do this, we'll do it together. No, that person was a whole full grown adult before he
Yeah.
came into and wanted to marry you. So it's okay for people to retain the aspects of their individuality that keep them whole. They don't have to give that up because they are married. Same
Mm-hmm.
way, I'm now learning to go back to what are the things I like as a person? What are the things I enjoy doing by myself? I look for ways to create time to do those things by myself. Today, now, later in the day, there's an event I'm going for. I'm just going to go and hang out with other moms. My husband is not welcome there. That's something that I enjoy doing as a single woman. Go out with my
Yeah.
friends, just go and play, go to parties, just enjoy myself. I gave that up for a long time when I got married because my priorities shifted. Like you said, the things that were happening in my life, just put that at the back seat. I'm now at the point where I'm not changing diapers. I don't have to hover around my children like a hawk. There's a
Mm-hmm.
level of independence that they have learned now, which means I can now start to go back to those things. So
Yeah.
as busy as I am, as student as I am, as worker that I am, I'm still finding time to step away and go and do those things that keep me whole. And when I come
Mm-hmm.
home, I'm refreshed, I'm
Yeah.
happy, I'm excited, I'm not stressed. Same thing with my husband. There are times where I'm like, you know what, today you're dressing up, you're going out. Wherever you want to go, I don't know. Go and call your friends. You guys go and shoot pool. Whatever it is, you go and buy chicken wings, sit down somewhere by yourself. Just knowing that when he comes back in that place where he's shooting that pool, he's not thinking about bills. He's not thinking about, oh, the next certification I have to take. He's not thinking about work. Just go and breathe. Because
Yeah.
the number of men under the age of 45 who are dropping and dying, it's
True.
scary. Like when I hear those stories out of Nigeria, even here, you just, oh, he slept and didn't wake up. 45, what's happening? The burden is a lot. So I think we should be intentional both ways. For those people who are not married yet, there's also the aspect of learning now while you're single to start to put those things in place. What do you like? What keeps you going? What are the things that fill you? This is the time to start to do those things so that when somebody comes, the person wants to marry you, there's already a routine, there's a pattern that you already have going for yourself. It's not in marriage you now find the pattern. You go into marriage
No,
who you already
with the
are.
pattern. True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it goes
I
back to the
remember when we were
yeah.
still coaching with the mister, and um for every time that we went out, then I would tell him to take me to H medics. And we would go to H medics up to, let's put it at weekly thing. I'll ask him to drive me to H medics, and when we go to H medics, I'm going to pack scrubs. I'm going to pack scrubs. And he was like, he didn't know what I was always doing with scrubs. Then apparently he called my older sister one day, and he told my older sister I wanted to peel my skin. Jamila is always buying scrubs, and I feel like she's like trying to change her skin. But he didn't know what he was preparing himself for. When we got married, I declared that Friday was a public holiday, was a Jamila public holiday in our household. And 8 years later, Friday is still public holiday in my household. I don't clean, I don't cook, I don't do anything but take care of myself. He understands that
Anybody
it
else
is
writing that
no
down? Please write it down. Public
it is
holiday.
love language. It is understanding your love language. That is where it comes in. He did not know that every time I got those scrubs, it is my own self-care. I was preparing for self-care day. I would always prepare for the next self-care day. What is it I'm going to do this week? It does not have to be repetitive of the same thing. This week, if you're scrubbing your body, what do you want to do next week? Maybe trim your brows. What do you want to do next week? Get a facial done, cleanse your face. And I when we got married, I realized that okay, it is not fair that I get a self-care day or a public holiday for myself. I made subconsciously made it that every Sunday I'm a stay-at-home mom. I don't answer to any organization or company, but I know that he answers to his job, his workplace. So every Sunday I let him have it. I didn't even tell him that that is what I'm doing. So I don't do anything on Friday. He brings dinner or we go out to dinner. But on Saturday, I would make sure I cook a very nutritious meal that he eats and he's happy because I know that he loves good food. This is me giving him attention in the way that I know is going to be very pleasing to his mind and to his body. So I give him good food on Saturday, and on Sunday, if you want to like just sleep, press phone all day, just be on your own. And it's also for me as well because it allows me to also accomplish other things around the house. So it is you both understanding what you truly truly want for yourselves. Self-care is can happen in different ways. I have a thing for aromatherapy. Smell good scents make me happy, and that is what he now discovered, that every time I do something extra to take care of myself, I'm always happy, and I do this almost every day of the week, so I'm always very happy you know and he learned that he's not a Hausa man, but for we, the Hausa people, turaren wuta, that is the incense, we do it all the time. This man, when he's on his way to work, his way to wake me up is to actually light up the incense before he leaves the house. And as I'm waking up, I am waking up with something very beautiful, something that have sent things to my brain and release the good chemicals for me, and I feel good throughout the day. Things will happen occasionally to make you angry or to make you feel bad. It is life. So I also am not afraid to feel the things that come. The question is, how long am I going to feel it for? When I also see my the mister, being too far, too detached, too comfortable in his quiet space, because he's a very quiet person. I go to poke him. We play like kids. We run around. I run. We, just to even keep fit in the house. We will run race upstairs between myself and the kids. It is me against Ansar. So he is Ansar's cheerleader. Kairia is my cheerleader, and it is who gets upstairs first, who gets in one person's room first, and that is how we keep running around the house. And you think I have like a dozen kids in my house, but this is how we just still do things and just help to keep mental space very, very balanced and okay, because the rate at which people are just falling and not waking up again, different things are happening. The mental health, you positive energy, you just have to maintain positive energy between yourselves.
Yeah. So what I'm taking from all of that is from your primary environment where you live, you have to find the things that just boost your energy within your house. For you,
True.
it could be sense. For you, it's self-care. And I know that when it comes to self-care, nobody else does it better. Jamila makes her own scrubs, guys. Let's just put it out here. If you have not gone to check out her channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. Her channel is at Ado Lifestyle. Please, can you put it on the comments? I'll pin it. Her channel name is Ado Lifestyle. She does her own scents from scrubs, essential oils that she uses to do those things. That's the only one I've not attempted, like to make my scrub from scratch, because I know that I'm not that kind of person. If I put it together,
Look, it is very easy, very, very easy. One cup, rule of thumb is always 1 cup of sugar, and every other oil that you're going to add to it should be half. It's always ratio 2 to 1. And just think about the things you cannot, that not they've said is not healthy for you. Peanut oil is not healthy for you when you ingest it. Also, when you use it on your skin, it's not healthy because it can clog your pores. But think about avocado oil. It is very good to ingest avocado as a fruit or vegetable, however you want to say it is. But when you also use avocado on your skin, it leaves your skin very soft. Argan oil is there, sunflower oil is there. There are different essential oils for different reasons, for the sensory organs, for sense, for relaxation. Eucalyptus is there. For just think about what you want to do to your body.
that's I like it. I like that one. Can try. Honestly, Jamila, I'm not promising. I will do it and send to you in private before I disgrace myself in public.
No, but it is. I mean, just to if you're a beginner, you don't worry about doing it for a start. Just go to Walmart and get the Tree Hot scrub. Just experiment for one day, and you will love how you feel. Or conditioning your skin after every shower, like mixing your avocado oil and any perfume oil you have, and once you have your bath, most especially for Friday evenings that you want to stir things up and both of you are resting, just mix that oil, have your bath, rub it over your body, rinse it off, walk out of the shower, and you know how your body is going to feel very soft to touch.
It's so
And go
simple.
sit down beside your spouse,
As
and once
people are about to take this advice, we cannot be held responsible for what happens.
no, I'm not responsible for anything that
We
happens
cannot be held
afterwards.
responsible when there's something
No,
members. I was not there. It
no,
was not me. It was Jamila that said you do it. But
no,
really,
but
that's something
but
I really admire about you when I watch your videos and I see how intentional for you. I can very clearly guess that self care for you is taking care of your skin, how you look, because even how you put your makeup together, the beauty tips and all of those things, the scrubbing your skin. I've never heard anything about conditioning skin. It's only my hair is conditioned. I just heard that
no,
one
you
now. Now,
condition
when
your
you take
skin
your bath,
as
you
well.
can condition your skin. So that's something I really admire, how much attention you pay to this thing and how much energy you drive from it. That's basically what I think everybody should be taking from this. Find the thing that makes you that keeps you whole, that keeps you sane. For Jamila, it might be skincare and beauty. For you, it might be books, it might be movies, it might be food. Some people just enjoy sitting in bed and eating their favorite food, ordering and eat. But basically, you should be finding that thing, finding that place where you can step away from all the responsibility and in that place just breathe, like exhale, let it all out. The weight of the world cannot be on your shoulder. Everybody
Mm.
else can wait. That's something I am learning consciously now. There are times where Saturday morning like this, I'm like, you know what? I just want everybody out of my space. I lock Mr. Eteng out of our room, lock my children out, and just stay there. Sometimes I find so much joy and satisfaction in folding laundry, as weird as it sounds. I play loud music inside my room, just empty out my closet, refold my clothes, go and check out my clothes. Like, I've not worn
Hmm.
this in a while. For me, I derive so much joy in that.
Yeah.
While that sounds like work, like you're folding laundry, but I'm enjoying myself. And when I come out, I'm excited. So
Yeah.
find that thing that gives you the energy. Find that thing that you can step away from all the cares of the world and just go and hide there. Because in actual sense, if you drop dead today, the world is going to continue. Those people that you want to
Absolutely.
kill yourself for that, oh no, I cannot take a solo trip because my children, if you die, those children will be fine. That's the truth. As a man, as a woman, say no, I cannot afford to go and use $100 to treat myself. If you drop down and you die, your next of kin is going to eat all the money. That's the truth. So as you're working, sometimes I don't know where those things come from. It's like there's another person inside me that says those. That's the truth, guys, especially as men, and especially for those people who live abroad. For those of us who live abroad who don't have like that primary support from family, where you can have multiple house helps. If you are rich enough, you can afford that, but it's not likely that most of the people who are abroad, because childcare is expensive abroad. Just being able to find that place where all you think about cannot be bills. I know that some people have it hard, but in having it hard, there are people who have it hard and they still drop down and die. So you should have
True.
that place, that opening for you to be able to breathe. If it's once a month, even if it's no matter how expensive. What I'm learning now, me and my husband, before, like a couple of years ago, it's not like we didn't have priorities. We've always had plans that involved a lot of finances, right? So if you want to say you want to wait until you can afford things, chances are it will not happen. There are always things that are happening. If you have family, if you have responsibilities, especially for those of us who are abroad, you have family in Nigeria that if they call you, you have to answer. So there will technically never be any time where you can afford everything and then you now have time to do these things. So it must be something you incorporate as you go. If you cannot take
Yeah.
$100 to splurge on yourself, you will not do it when you have $10,000 to spend.
Absolutely.
So now what we do is sometimes we just look around restaurants here that we haven't tried. Oh, more this food is expensive, but let's do it. Disappointed until man wants to die. The worst that can happen is we'll be broke. If we perish, we perish. We'll order the food. Do you understand why?
Hmm.
Later, we might sit down and say, man, that was bad. It was a bad decision. That was badly timed. But in the moment, we have ordered the food. We have enjoyed ourselves. So just be able to do it. Sometimes close your eye and do it. Now, who they are alive, now if you hustle, it's who is alive. It's who you have to be alive to enjoy the money you're hustling for. That's
No, but I mean, you absolutely said it. And one thing I'm going to say is that I think again, it is not even having all those, because you can also be in Nigeria, have all the helps, but you're still not well.
still
You're still
not
not
do it.
taking care of
Yeah.
yourself. You still don't know what to do. There are people that have never dermaplaned their face, and every day they feel like they complain, I am not glowing,
You're shouting
my
at me.
skin
You're
is not
shouting at
soft.
me,
But
Jamila.
what have you actually like done to it? To have you removed that hair that you don't see on your face because it's there? Have you removed dead skin from your body because it is there? We complain, and before you know it, we start making very bad decisions, start investing in very bad skincare products, and you're using just because you feel like
It's organic.
your hands
All
are
those things
darker
are
than
all
your face,
organic.
or your feet are darker than your hands, and you feel like, oh, I need to start toning that skin. But what are you using to tone it? Did you try to exfoliate and 3 times or 4 times or 5 times and it did not look even again? So it's not even really being around this village that we so love. It is you knowing what the problem is and what are you doing to fix it. Me being in this country have shown me that even if I was in Nigeria, I will still do the same thing. Like, I will still know to take care of myself. I'm doing it with 2 children, and there is that time for me. Are you creating that time for yourself? What are you doing differently is going to be the question. It's not just about having all these people. When you have all these people, you become even lazier. I'll give you something. My grandmom, both of my grandmoms are very much alive, and I grew up seeing them be very fashionable women. These are women that would not eat breakfast until they've had their bath. These are women that would dress up and match up everything on their body, but they don't have anywhere to go to. And this is their own way of being happy and being in check with themselves after how many children. But none of their children is like them. It's like they unlearned everything that their mothers do because they felt it was too much, probably too much of a burden. How will I wake up and the first thing I'm doing is bathing before I eat? It is stress. So they unlearned that. But I saw that, and I unlearned that of my mom from my mom, because my mom is nothing like her mother. My mom is like, makeup and everything is not her worry, but my grandmom, everything like that is her worry. Her
That's where you
jewelry,
come from. We see
gold,
where you come
everything
from.
is her worry. And that is who I am. Because I always want to look and feel a certain way. And the only way I can achieve that always goes back to doing the things that makes me happy. We had to tell my mom that she would deny herself certain things. She would be like, oh, she does not need this. I was like, wear that jewelry. You cannot have a wardrobe full of super Hollandaise, the most expensive fabric, and all you want to wear is 2,500 naira, 3,500 naira fabric and sit down. Why do you have those things? She's like, no, it's too much. But like, wear it, you will be happy. Sometimes, it is not saying that, expensive things or luxury things is happiness, or say people say money can buy you happiness. No, it is indirectly, because it's going to always, our body is so wired, our brain is so wired to everything around us. So it is that message that you feed your brain. It is going to release the right kind of chemicals for you, and accelerate everything thereon. But when you just keep doing the same boring thing every day, wearing the same boring fabric, wearing the same, not making up every day, or not, don't wake up every day and make yourself. I'm here today without makeup. I'm sure you probably thought I would come with makeup on, because that is, I'm a guest on your show, and I'm here and I should represent myself, well, with what I do, skincare, makeup, and everything. But this is another representation of myself, because I have done things differently that is making me happy, that I'm able to sit down here and give or respond to you. So at the end of the day, happiness can happen differently. Just always be conscious. And one thing I want to advise people out there, for men, for women, is to learn to journal. It is the easiest way you can assess yourself. I journal a lot. If I can't sit down every night to write out my activities of the day, how my day have been or has been that day, maybe anytime I remember, I will sit down and go back to all the days I have missed and fill in the journal and think about what did I do and what was I supposed to do that I did not do. How did I do this and how can I be better? So these are the things that when you journal, you're freeing up your mental space, because not every, some people don't have people to talk to. Some people bottle in so much, and before you know it, they explode and you can't undo the damage at that time. So journaling is a very private thing that you can do to always keep yourself in check and keep the activities around you and your responsibilities well balanced as well.
Absolutely. Wow. This has been amazing conversation. Again, lots of things I've taken from this that I'm going to be learning and implementing for myself. Jamila, thank you so much for sharing your wealth of knowledge. When I told you you're a guru, you were afraid. You see what we're saying now. I've been taking notes. See, my paper is full. You know what we can do? The next time you come here, maybe we'll do like a practical, show us products that we can use, because I'm very interested in that. When I started to take my skincare seriously is when I started watching you. That's the truth.
Wow,
I don't know if you
I'm so
believe, but that's when I
honored.
started watching you. when you talk about those products from The Ordinary, this is what you can do, the chemical peel and things like that. I'm like, I'm going to do that. And funny enough, I'm not breaking the bank. The Ordinary is
Yeah.
cheap. Like if you go on Sephora, it's cheap. It's like seven, $10. I've not bought anything there that is more than $10, and because of the size, So just all that everyday small steps. When I wash my face, I use my hyaluronic acid and moisturize my face. It feels so
Oh, you
good.
finally know how to call hyaluronic acid.
You taught me. I remember the first time I tried to pronounce that. Oh my god. So maybe the next time that we come on the channel, hopefully you honor us and come back again. We can talk
Absolutely.
about those products, like especially
Yeah.
for women, for men, that you can use to help you feel good about your skin. Now I want to take it beyond just my face to like my entire body. Like
Yeah.
when you talk about scrubbing, I was looking at you one time, like I don't know what you're saying, but I'm going to learn that one. I'll go back
Yeah.
to your channel because I know you have done a number of homemade scrubs using everyday ingredients that we have in our pantries to make scrubs. I didn't know that. I'm just hearing from you
Yeah.
now. You can use sugar to do scrub. I didn't know that. So maybe
Yeah.
next time we
Sugar,
talk about
honey,
this
turmeric, mix
practical.
it, and you're good.
Yeah, we can talk about these practical things that we can do, or you can even if you can even show us live, it would be nice just to show us this is what you can
Yeah.
do and what the outcome can be. Because this is the year that we will all take our baby girl and our baby boy lifestyle up a notch. No more
True,
desperate
because I
skin
mean,
out of
those
skin
kids are
and
going to
nothing.
leave your house and they are going to have their life.
Absolutely. I'm telling
So
you.
it is not when you're all wrinkled that you want to undo wrinkle.
Yes.
My mom called me
Enough of
last week.
husband and wife standing side by side, and you think it's mother and child.
My
No,
mom called
no.
me last week and she was like, her skin is feeling somehow. Because she's someone with very beautiful skin. But I was like, she said she doesn't feel like her moisturizer is going into her skin anymore. I was like, Mommy, you have dead skin all over your skin, and until you exfoliate, it is not going anywhere. Your cream will keep sitting down on your skin. It is not going anywhere. It will sit down on that first layer of dead skin every 28 days. Whatever that can shed will shed and leave you with the remaining balance. And another dead skin will keep building up right under and raising it. So it raises up to the point it becomes wrinkled and it starts wrinkling. And that is the beginning of aging.
I'm looking at
That
my
is the
son now.
first
I'm
sign
like,
of aging.
Father Lord, maybe that's what. Guys, what do you people think? Should we bring Jamila back to come and teach us practically how to do this thing? Because this is the year of baby girl and baby boy. Please, if you people want Jamila to come back, let me just see. Let me just be saying yes in the comment. Please bring her back. Let her come and show us how we can be glowing, better glow, not those one that they will be selling cream that they say is organic and tell you that if
Have
you use
castor oil.
it, see the loud yeses, capital letter. Okay, God's own. That was loud. We heard it. Look at what I mean. The yes was loud.
Oh, this I heard this one too here. Like it's in my ears. I'm hearing it.
Okay, so the yeses are coming. So Jamila is definitely coming back to that one. We're going to dig it down and talk about skincare. Like, how can we do this thing? This our baby girl life. It has to come back. That's the truth. Well,
Absolutely.
thank you so
I would
much.
love to be back.
Awesome, awesome. We'll look forward to that. Thank you so much, Jamila, for sharing so much. Like you have so much experience from the subtle way you pass the message, but you're dropping real gems. So everyone, Jamila's channel is at Ado Lifestyle. Let me see. Is it there? Jamila, can you type your channel name and put in the comment? Let me show
Yeah,
it.
I left the link there. I don't know if I can leave a link, but
You
yeah.
should be able to leave a link. I'll put it on the show it on the channel so people can click on the link and go and subscribe. Please go and check out Jamila's channel. You're not going to regret it, I promise you. There's a lot there that you can learn. She talks about different things from life to marriage to parenting to skincare, especially skincare, guys. You will learn a lot from there. Different kind of scrubs that you can use to take care of yourself. Cheap ways. These ways are cheap. That's the thing. If it's expensive, I'll not bring it to you because even me, I'll not be able to afford it. But they are cheap,
Oh, please,
easy,
we will do
everyday
expensive
ways.
too. We want to be baby girl. Baby girl is not cheap.
See, Jamila, there's a time for everything. We're hustling right now
You that
so
your
that we
you
can
that
be
your
spending
glow
those
is
million,
blinding
million
my glow.
later. Yes, now. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone who was able to join us. I had so much fun just having this chat. Um, Yes, so we'll have more conversations coming. We'll be bringing more people to come and share this thing. This year, I told you people, I'm ready for all of you. We're going to be giving you back to back value on this channel. Thank you, everyone who constantly supports us, show up to join these conversations, to watch the videos, engage the videos. So thank you so much. Please don't forget to go and subscribe to Jemila's channel, Ado Lifestyle. Go and say hello from the Marina Army. Say we are here, baby girl. We are here to learn the baby girl lifestyle. Thank you very much,
Yeah.
everyone, for
Thank
joining. I
you
will see
all
you
for
tomorrow at
having
9
me.
for our
Mm.
regular Sunday upload. Thank you guys so much. And until we come your way in our next live updates, I hope you guys have an amazing day and a great weekend ahead. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye.
Bye.